Hello, everybody. Welcome to Storybrooke. Welcome to our live stream. I wear this shirt every week we go live because it's our Once Upon a Time night, and it's the nostalgic for the show that aired tonight at this specific time. For some of you, that's 8 p.m., some of you, that's 9, some of you, that's 7, whatever time zone you're from. This is the time it started back in its airing days. Okay, so now I say this every time, but if anyone's curious, my YouTube one actually started just only a couple seconds early or right on time. I didn't actually check. I just went straight to Facebook because I wanted to start on time as close as possible. And I know Facebook was about 10 seconds late, but hey, nevertheless, we're on time. Remember those days when I was minutes late and stuff? I've been doing a lot better over the year. Welcome March. We're going to finish season 5 and get into season 6. So tonight, so you remember we just barely left the underworld. It's kind of like Neverland. We had 9 episodes of the underworld. We just finished the 7th, 8th, and 9th episodes, which is episodes 18, 19, 20 of season 5. And so, we wrapped up our our underworld, like in the actual world. But it's kind of funny. The arc that started it all, and not the whole show, but the ones that started the themes like Neverland, Oz, Frozen. My goodness, I am up with the hiccups and the burps. Anyway, so Neverland, Oz, and now the underworld. And so anyway, so when we started with the Neverland arc, it was 9 episodes in Neverland, and then Peter Pan came to the real world for 2 episodes. And that's kind of how it is here. Except the Neverland arc was 11 episodes, and that was back when the seasons had 22. Lately, 4 and 5 have been having 23, so one of the half-season arcs have had 12 episodes. Frozen was the one of season 4, and now the Underworld. So, we had our 9 episodes in the Underworld, just like Neverland, but instead of 2 episodes in the real world, we get 3 episodes in the real world, so that covers our whole night. However, I hate to give out spoilers here for anyone who's watching this for the first time. I don't want to really give out anything at all, but Hades is not in the season finale. And so, actually, unlike Peter Pan, Hades only gets 1 episode in the real world, and then it's still, for some reason, it's still considered the Underworld arc because it's not season 6, it's still season 5. The 2-hour season finale, like the 2-parter, remember like the Back to the Future episode and the time when Henry became the author, those were 2-hour season finales, right? We're now on our season 5th 2-hour season finale. And Once Upon a Time is known for having its double-length season finales, double-length episode season finales. So anyway, we got to watch 1 episode first. We're going to defeat Hades once and for all. So yes, we said goodbye to the Underworld last week, but now we're saying goodbye to the arc itself in Greek mythology itself. We said goodbye to the Underworld. Now we're saying goodbye to Hades and Zeus and all of that. No more Greek gods after tonight. No more talking about hell after tonight. And so anyway, we're done talking about life after death. So it's it's time to wrap things up. Anyway, so yes, we're going to defeat Hades. I can't wait to start that episode in 6 minutes. So after that, we got a great season finale. Someone's going to die, and it's going to affect another character, and that's what we're going into in the season finale. The season finale will also set up with where we're going in season 6. For everyone just watching because they watched the show back in the day, we're so far in the show now that some of you that are marathoning with us are probably people that watched the show but didn't finish it. So if that's the case, we have more new people seeing this for the first time than we did when we were in season 1 or 2. So anyway, you probably don't know this either. So anyway, but for those who have watched the show all the way through and they're just coming here to see my commentary on it and nostalgic, and they just want to see me, I wouldn't necessarily say react to it. Yeah, I guess react to it, but it's not like when I go on YouTube, when people say they're reacting to a show, it's usually their first time watching. And then when people are watching it for like the millionth time on YouTube, it's more like they call it actually commentary. And so anyway, and a lot of times they don't even show their faces. They just show an audio recording, and you just watch the episode along with them. And I would do that if I knew how to work that, how to just make an audio screen. I only know how to live stream video, not not just sound only on YouTube. I've actually I do have a sound recorder. Um, I do know I actually how to make a video with just sound and a background image, but not live. I can only do that as far as a pre-made video. I'm not well tech enough to do it in a live stream of some sort. I guess I could go to my app. I could share my screen on my live stream and go to my app and play a voice recording. But like, if you want an image in the background instead of a voice recording, anyway, can't do that. Sorry, don't know how to. So yes, like I said, this will be very boring if you're not watching the show as you're listening to this stream. I mean, it won't be boring. I will talk, but not all the time. First of all, and second of all, only part. Well, second of all, even when I am talking, it's going to be about the show, and you won't know what's going on unless you're watching. Anyway, but yeah, for those who have seen the show, and even past season 5, um, whether you finished through season 7 or you stopped after season 6, 90% of the people stopped after season 6. So when we get to season 7, I'll know almost everyone's going to be new. Um, anyway, you know what happens. The main character who dies, who doesn't survive when they defeat Hades, the person who dies affects the other player in the season finale. A major character. I sent out a trailer. Maybe you have a good idea who it was. There was a lot of footage um, of there was a lot of footage of Hades, Zelina, Robin Hood, and Regina. Probably from the clips you've seen from the trailer I sent earlier this week, you probably have a good idea of who's gonna die, who's been in the trailer the most. But if you don't know, I'm keeping my mouth shut. But someone main major character is gonna die. Some main major character. It's kind of funny because we just lost Hook, and like even worse, when he died on the show, we went to the underworld to try to save him. So he got more time on the show than he was supposed to get. Like, you never when someone died, but it was just their time. Imagine you tried to bring them back. They got more time than they ever deserved to, right? Anyway, Hook said that in our last episode from last week. He said, we got more time than we ever need to. You didn't need to come down here to save me, blah, 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 right? It failed, right? They didn't end up saving Hook. We made our underworld trip a little bit of a waste. But anyway, even though we just lost Hook, another person is going to die. So, you're probably upset because after losing Swan Song, what ship are we losing next? We don't want to lose the I don't know what it's called. Swan no. Hood Queen. What's the Robin Hood and Regina relationship called? I have no idea. We don't want to lose the Hood Queen or the Snow and Charming. What ship is that called? I only know Swan. No, Swan Pirate. No. Now I know. Okay. Captain Swan. That's the ship. I know it's called Captain Swan. And my hair's a mess. Man, I was ready to go live 5 minutes early. I should have combed it. I was just sitting there waiting when I could have combed it. You know what? Hang on. My hair, I'm going bald, so my hair's not really pretty anymore. I better start wearing my Mexico on. I started this season with a Mexico hat anyway. When I first came back from the cruise, we start with the first episode of season 5. Maybe we should end the season with this. So, we gotta get started in 1 minute, so I might as well shut up so I don't spoil anymore. But I don't know all the ships in here. But I know the names of the characters at least. Snow and Charming, Rumple and Belle, Robin and Regina. Who out of these are gonna die? Out of these ships, and it doesn't have to be any of the ones I said. Anyway, just to unspoil it a little bit more. Doesn't have to be any of the ones I said, just to not spoil it. And I reworded that. Okay. I was almost spoiling by just mentioning the ships here, but it doesn't have to be one of those ships to make it, if that makes you feel better. I just know who's going to die, and it's hard not to say it. Someone who's been on the show for seasons. Not the beginning, though, so hate to spoil that, but who wasn't in season 1 that could die. I mean, Hook was one of those. He showed up in season 2, but he's already stuck in the underworld. Robin Hood didn't come until season 3. At least our actor version of him. Belle, oh, she was in season 1. But she also wasn't really in the very beginning either. She was in the pilot. She didn't come until halfway through the season. So yes, I guess your candidates for me saying they were not in the beginning of the show are either Belle or Robin Hood. So good luck guessing, okay? But yeah, someone's gonna die to get tonight, and it's 7 o'clock, so we're gonna start that right now. But get your funeral suit on. We're going to a funeral, and we're attending the services of this character that I would say the name with if I didn't invite people who haven't seen the show to watch this. I kind of regret that because this was meant to be a marathon of something we've already seen. So anyway, yeah, about the YouTube thing though, commentary. Um, that's mostly what this is. It's not a reaction or it's not a first time reaction at all. It's not a reaction. I just called it a reaction because that's what most people called it. And as I've been doing the marathon, I realized I regret my decision. I don't want to go back and change all the live streams we've had. I hate to, and that takes a long time. This is our 44th live stream. Um, so no, I'm not doing that. But um, you know, I wish I would have put commentary because some people might think they might mistaken it as a first time reactor or something. No, when I say I'm reacting to a show, it means it doesn't mean I haven't seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it thousands of times. I watched it when it was there. I said that many times on these live streams in the past. So don't ever think that. But it's nice to hear my thoughts on it. So that shouldn't discourage you to watch my live streams to see what I think about Once Upon a Time. My favorite TV show of all time. It's 702. Where you better get started. So if you're watching I want to see if we have any oh. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I'm gonna see if we have anybody watching, and my screen was blank for a second. I'm like, I don't want to lose my stream tonight. Obviously. All right. You know what? We can get rid of this tab. All right. Seems like no one really is watching at the moment, but hopefully they'll join. Okay. So if you're on Disney Plus, the episode is season 5, episode 21, Last Rites. It's the episode before the finale, so we'll watch that first. Last Rites, and then it's 43 minutes and 44 seconds. That might not be the same if you're watching it on DVD though, because Disney Plus likes to add extra credits in there. So yeah, but just make sure because we do watch the recap previously on Once Upon a Time, right? So make sure you haven't pushed that yet. And sometimes streaming services will start after the recap, so make sure you rewind it. It has to be at 0 seconds, even if it's not 43 minutes and 44 seconds. Make sure it's at 0 seconds. And in the past, I realized sometimes I start Facebook first. I really need to start YouTube first because YouTube's going to stay on here forever when Facebook's not. So I want most of my streaming content to be on YouTube. It's only a few seconds. Why am I complaining? Anyway, my hair is like, remember how I dyed it white? It's kind of faded away. Even after a couple weeks of the Queens of Darkness arc, even I added a blue to it, and the blue's gone, and it's mostly white and mostly brown. It looks like a dirty hair look. So yeah, I really don't like my hair anymore. I'm gonna dye it. Hopefully by next week you'll see a new me. So that's pretty bad. But anyway, I'm just getting distracted now. I am so sorry. Every time when we're about to start, I want to talk about something else really quick. Okay, it is 7:04. It is time to start Once Upon a Time, once and for all. And I got a virus. My computer says I have a virus. That does not make sense. Okay. So Last Rites, season 5, episode 21. Make sure you have it at 0 seconds, or if you're on Disney Plus, there should be 43 minutes and 44 seconds remaining. Not 43. An episode that's only 43 seconds. That is no such thing. Hopefully they never make shows that short. Okay, because that's like a trailer. Okay. I'm being stupid. Okay, I'm sorry. But I am very excited to finally finish the season. I'm tired of season 5, honestly, to tell you the truth. Season 6 is a lot better. All right, let's get started, okay? It is 7:04. Okay. All right, let's get started now. Okay, ready? Remember, I do a countdown, so we all push play at the same time. Get ready to push play on your remote. If you're on episode selection on your DVD, you might not want to push play there because loading the episode there takes a lot longer than pushing play here. Even on Disney Plus, I've already pushed the episode. I just rewinded it to make sure it stayed at 0 seconds, So again, make sure you've already pushed the episode but paused it, right? Right before it even played a single second. If it did play a second, rewind it. But yeah, if we all push play after pushing the episode itself, if we all push play at the same time, it should only start within like 1 second after we click play. So anyway, it doesn't matter what streaming service or physical media you're watching it on. So anyway, if everyone understands what I just said, all right, I'm gonna start the countdown now, but not push play when I say one. Um, Wait until I say zero, okay? Some people get a second ahead by mistakenly pushing play at one. When I count down and I say one, there's still 1 second before we push play. Okay, it is 7:05. I'm gonna shut up. Okay, ready? Three, two, one, now. Okay, I forgot my headphones. I just realized I didn't put my headphones in. We've gone away without headphones before. YouTube shuts down the background music so I don't get copyrighted. It's built in like that. So Hades proposed to Zelina, and she ultimately went along with him. That's not good. Hades is evil. He even played the hero card last week just to trick everyone. So the Wicked Witch and Hades. Wicked Witch has no idea that Hades tried to trap everyone in the underworld, and and the Wicked Witch has no idea that Hades lied to him and Hook about about the fruit that would save their lives. And so little does the Wicked Witch know that Hades did not actually change his ways. He was evil all along, just pretending to be good to please her. Yeah, that's not true. Don't buy it, Wicked Witch. Don't buy it, Selena. Do you remember also last week on my favorite episode of the season? Wicked Witch found closure with her mother, and Regina and her became better sisters because of it. She's technically no longer Wicked versus Evil anymore. They're kind of sisters now. Wicked versus Evil is probably you could say it's over by this point. And so anyway, Wicked Witch, you know, is trying to be a hero now. He's going around telling everyone that Hades changed. How untrue that is. So I forgot to mention our Camelot arc. Remember the first half of the season? They come back in this episode. That did not happen with Frozen at the end of the Queens of Darkness arc. In the Neverland arc, it. I mean, Tinkerbell was in a couple episodes of the Oz arc, but like she was only like in a few scenes and didn't cause huge disruption in the arc, and Arthur does right now. So I kind of don't count that, especially when Peter Pan was more of the focus than Tinkerbell. So, like, Peter Pan did not come in the Wicked Witch arc. So it's kind of cool how this is the last season with two half arcs, and it's the one where you spend half of it in Camelot, half of it in the underworld, and then at the end you kind of get a little bit of both. And you don't see I knocked some stuff over. Sorry. Ah, I and you don't see Camelot exactly, but you do see a lot of the characters. Like it's Tinkerbell against everybody. Like in the Ozark, we saw Tinkerbell, but we didn't see Peter Pan or the Lost Boys. Here we're seeing everybody. Well, not everybody, not everybody. See, we get to see Merida. Merida's on guard duty to watch Arthur in his cell. Since Snow White is by herself and Charming and Emma are not here to be sheriffs, Snow White has to double duty here on making sure the town is safe. And Snow White's wishing everyone can make it home soon. And as soon as she wishes everyone was home, they walk through the door. Wish come true in just a matter of seconds. It's kind of like Kevin on Home Alone when she wishes to see her mother and her mother shows up. Coincidence! Everyone made it home except for Hook. Emma couldn't get Hook to move on. Yeah, no, that's not what I meant. Emma couldn't get Hook to come back. It was sad. What a wasted trip. You even wishes she never went down there. Yes, and because the Underworld arc is coming to an end, we hope so many people move on off camera, right? So, yes, this is kinda sad. So, the Wicked Witch wasn't here when Hades trapped them in the underworld, and so the Wicked Witch thinks Hades is a good person and everyone is being self-righteous, but it's not true. He did trap them under there as a trick. So, yeah, as I said last week, he was only playing the hero card just to get out of the underworld. I mean, in prison, Hades is way better than wanting him dead, right? Zelena should be grateful if they just imprison him and not kill him. Wicked Witch is too protective of the god of death. You it's like you love the devil too much. It's like falling in love with the devil. You gotta take your steps back. It's temptation. It's wrong. You know, it's not good. Come on, Zelina. Try to be a hero now. She just doesn't know that he's evil though. Think about it. He takes after the devil himself. And see, now I lied because I didn't want to spoil, but here we are in the underworld again, where Arthur is trying to figure out where he is, and there's the blind witch. Yep. And Arthur has he wasn't part of the underworld arc. He has no idea who Hades is. Yeah, Hades never reveals his weakness. This is why we can't defeat him. But we're gonna find out what that weakness is, and it will be exploited tonight. So Captain Hook was sitting in Granny's when Arthur entered the underworld, and he was when he wanted to know what was going on in this world, our world, the mortality world, and um, obviously Hades killed him, so he knows Hades did make it back and stuff. So he wants to help the heroes defeat him. I mean, Hook knows Hades is evil. He know otherwise he would have came back alive if Hades never lied about the ambrosia. But yes, I lied. So yes, we are. I said we were done with the underworld itself, not the underworld arc, but that is true. But instead of a flashback, we get to see Hook find a way to move on, since he's a main character, and we deserve to see him move on before the underworld for good. So yes, I was partially right on the fact that our heroes would not be in the underworld at all. But we do kind of it's not a flashback, but in the replacement of a flashback in the present day, we get to see Hook try to find a way to move on in the underworld. So half of the episode is pretty much in the underworld, watching Hook trying to find a way to move on by finding some afterlife way to tell people how to defeat Hades. While we spend half the episode in the real world, I mean mortality world, and we watch our heroes find out how to defeat Hades, and Hook's gonna try to tell them from beyond the dead, beyond the grave. That's how you say it. Sorry, I'm used to saying real world because it's fairy tales versus real world here. I'm not saying real world as in this is real and afterlife is not. No, no, no. I'm saying sorry. Anyway, I guess in this case because it's life after death half season. I'm talking about mortality world. Well, actually, the way actually their way their idea of afterlife and once upon a time is actually fake. So I can say real world. But that doesn't mean I don't believe in life after death. I do. Not once upon a time's version. See, even Hades, knowing that Wicked Witch never found out how evil he was, he's trying to play the hero card and trying to act like the heroes don't understand that he's good now. How did he hold that? How did he get a hold of that? We didn't see him pack the underworld with anything. Why he just had that with him all along? Olympian crystal. Zeus's lightning bolts, how he uses it in fairy tales to kill people, but once upon a time it's used to end people. The mayor's office has a protection spell, so they have to figure out a way around it. Merida's here in the background. She wants to be part of this adventure. You were so half a season ago, Merida. Emma thinks because she officially lost Hook for good now, that she needs time to mourn her loss. I mean, she technically had weeks to do that. She didn't have to go to the underworld. Imagine that's how we could go to the spirit world. We just take a boat there. That'd be funny. There's so many people I'd try to find. Probably temporarily. I hope my visit would be temporarily, unless I'm over 100. Then I should have already been dead. I'd be surprised if I'm still alive after that point. But I want to live to be 100. Robin and Regina, cute couple, huh? What's funny? Funny thing, we just found out that Robin was Regina's soulmate in the very first half season arc in Neverland. Season 1 and 2, all we knew about was Daniel. We didn't know about Regina's next love at all. We saw Robin Hood in one flashback of season 2, but it was a different actor at the time, and there was no clues into thinking he would love Regina until season 3. So it's kind of funny. I don't want to say it now because it hasn't happened yet, but theoretically, for those who are watching this for the first time, as you're guessing which character is going to die in this episode, um, if it is Robin Hood, um, he joined the show in the first half season arc, and he's going to die. He would die in the last half season arc, leaving him no time to be in the show of season 1 and 2 and season 6 and 7, which are not half season arcs. Anyway, so Belle is trying to get her Belle's I mean Rumpelstiltskin is trying to get Belle's father to wake Belle from the sleeping curse. Remember how we put her in the sleeping curse last week as well? So many things happened last week. Sleeping curse, or I mean, Red Riding Hood and Dorothy have a relationship. Two evil brothers fighting. The two sisters come closer together, Regina and the Wicked Witch, and then they try to leave the underworld. So many things happened last week, but yes, Belle and Under the Sleeping Curse. Excuse me, separate. Yes, Hades is in Storybrooke. Rumple's kind of surprised. How did you not know everyone came back? Oh yeah, because he tried to jump in the portal before everyone else did. I keep getting notifications. Nice hat. I like it. Good episode. Hook finding his way back is one of the best storylines. Yep. Yep. Yeah. I've actually had this hat in the first live stream of the year back in January. I wore this hat at the beginning of season 5, and now I'm gonna wear it for the end of season 5. So Arthur and Hook are in Hades's throne room trying to find the missing pages of his story. So if you remember, Hook's older brother Liam um, dropped the pages, ripped the pages out of the Henry's book of how to defeat. Sorry, Hook is yelling right now. It's hard to talk when when someone else is yelling. Yep. Arthur, you should know that Hook loves Emma. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So Hook's brother Hook was yelling again. Hook's brother took the pages of Henry's book that tell us how to defeat Hades and threw it into the not River of Lost Souls, but the River of Lost Memories, I guess? I don't know. I don't know what all the rivers are for. I only know the green one, the River of Lost Souls. But in the White River, there were the pages, and Hades hid them in his throne room because Hook's brother kind of gave it to him by throwing it in the river. Anyway, so yes, they found it in his literal throne. They found the pages of how to defeat Hades. But now that Hook is dead, you can't physically tell everyone how to defeat him. He's gonna have to figure out how to send those pages to the land of the living from beyond the grave. Anyway, yes, Hook trying to move on is a good episode. But on the other hand, the person who's gonna die in replacement of Captain Hook, it's kind of sad. And for anyone watching for the first time, I just want to spare your feelings. Hook is not going to be dead forever. Anyway, so Cruella, welcome Cruella. Cruella. So Hook and Arthur. So remember the phone booth that can allow you to contact the land of the living. Arthur and Hook were going to use that to try to tell Emma, hey, here's how you defeat Hades, blah blah blah, over the phone. But Cruella destroyed that booth as we saw last week, and unfortunately, there's not another one. Cruella is so vengeful right now. She's like if I can't have her people resolve their unfinished business. That'll be no fun. If I'm going to be trapped down here, so is everyone else. She thinks it's unfair that she has to stay down there and everyone else gets to move on. Bella's kind of jealous. Well, she knows she'll go to a worse place, so that's why she doesn't want to move on. And she's jealous that everyone goes to a better place. Merida's trying to help defeat. This is kind of cool. See, here's the thing about team effort. I never saw like even with Tinkerbell, she was just she didn't really do anything much. She was just there. Um, see what's cool about season 5 is that you have the Camelot and Underworld, right? And what's cool is that even though we're trying to defeat Hades and we're wrapping the storyline up, even though we're trying to defeat Hades, um, Merida from the Camelot arc is actually trying to help them defeat Hades. We're getting at the end of the season, we're getting heroes from both the first half of the season and the second half to help defeat Hades. With the Queens of Darkness, we didn't get the frozen characters to come help us. In Oz arc, we didn't get the Lost Boys or Peter Pan. He was evil anyway. I think he would team up with the Wicked Witch rather than help him. Or anyway, what's cool about this two half season is that at the end of the season you kind of get heroes from both halves at the end. It's kind of cool. We're getting heroes from both halves of the season to help defeat Hades. You got people from the afterlife and people from this life from the old Camelot arc. That's kind of cool. My goodness. Hades wants to take over Storybrooke. That's all he cares about. Selena, you're blinded. Can't you just see that all he cares about is ruling over things? He doesn't care. Well, he cares about you, but in the wrong ways. Because I'm not going to say he doesn't care about you. He actually admits it. Like, he proves to us that he loves the Wicked Witch. But like a devil, that's not going to stop him from from being evil. He's going to stay evil. So Wicked Witch, I would break up with him if I were you. Hades gets a call from Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpel offers him a deal and promises him protection. Man, Rumpel made a deal. So Rumpel said, "Hey, Hades, I can protect you for exchange of that Olympian crystal." Rumpel thinks he wants to use the Olympian crystal. Keep in mind, the Olympian crystal is the most dangerous thing of Once Upon a Time. You know how there's fates worse than death? This is a version of that. Okay, you can die and go to the spirit world, right? But imagine a weapon that can destroy you permanently. No afterlife, no moving on. One minute you exist, the next you don't. I'm quoting exactly what Hades is going to say in a few minutes. This Olympian crystal doesn't just kill you; it erases your existence as if you were never created, you were never born. Like, imagine never being born before this life or after. That's how bad the crystal is. Like, at least when you die, you know there's life after death. But this crystal eliminates that too. It permanently, like there's no eternal life from it. Anyway, this Olympian crystal is the worst weapon. I'm so glad it's only fictional. So glad such a weapon doesn't exist. It's so bad. Anyway, Robin and Regina have been fighting a little bit as a couple because Robin wasn't here to see, Cora move on and make the sisters bond better. And so, anyway, he doesn't know that Evil Queen and Wicked Witch are trying to be good sisters, right? He wasn't there for that. He thinks the Wicked Witch is still a Wicked Witch. He knows Regina's changed, but anyway, Robin hasn't seen the good of Zelena yet, and so they're arguing about why did you even make me trust Zelena? Now he's finally coming to terms after spending half of this episode arguing. He's finally coming to terms with, giving, just like you give Regina a second chance of redemption, maybe it's time to give the Wicked Witch one. So, touch the water. So, yeah, Arthur is new to the underworld. He doesn't know that if you touch the River of Lost Souls, you become lost. So, luckily, Hook was there to warn him, don't touch the water. Do not touch the water. Wow, remember, King Arthur was a villain. Hook, you're gonna trust him by guarding the boat? Okay. So this is new. Out of all our time in the underworld, never have you seen someone from the River of Lost Souls come up and attack you. Even Hook's been here for an entire half a season, and he hasn't even seen this. It's like with Hades gone, no one has rules. No one's forced to stay under. Oh my goodness, here comes another one. Another spirit trying to attack them. What, and Arthur are in trouble. And Arthur knows what Hook did. He knows that fire extinguishes the spirit. Okay, okay, okay. Burn him, burn him, burn him. But the spirit drops the book and it flies right off the ledge. Hook, grab it before it touches the river whistles! Just a couple meters away from the water. Oh, that was close. Oh, don't let it touch there. Yes, a lot of things have changed in the underworld ever since Hades left. Ever since all the heroes left from the underworld, there has been no one in charge, except for Cruella. And so, anyway, all the spirits can do what they want. They can attack. They can attack people. See, those are the pages that Hook's brother took tore out at one point. And so, now that Hook and Arthur have found the pages that Hades hid from them so many episodes ago, now they can use those pages to defeat him in the land of the living. I'm glad they actually didn't, like, for one, well, like, they could have saved Hook, and I would have still been okay with it. But another thing, I'm kind of glad they didn't wrap up everything in the underworld because it's nice to see Hades at least for one episode in this world, trying to torture the land of the living just for once. Because in the underworld, it's not as fun when they're already dead. But anyway, Hades doesn't get to do much because he's only in the in mortality for a day, for like a day in one episode. But anyway, Emma. So Hook's trying to send the pages of of Hades's weakness to her, but Emma, by putting it in the storybook, in the dead version of it anyway. But little does Emma know that she's not looking at the right pages of that book. Emma's trying to put Hook behind her, and she's like, 'cause she, 'cause as of right now, he's dead, and she's trying to move on, but like Hook's trying to send a message from beyond the grave. Listen to it, Emma. It's important. And look, Emma did find a way. The Olympian crystal has a way to destroy not just people from existence, but it can destroy exact gods too. So now that they know that the Olympian crystal can kill a god, they just got to steal it from Hades. Hades is coming up with so many excuses. Zelina's like, no, 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 let's not roll Storybrooke. Let's just find a nice house. And then he goes, no, 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 no. Why don't we just leave Storybrooke? Live somewhere else where no one will be attacking us. And like Regina and Robin are hiding in the office because they broke through the protection spell. And they said they said I hate him. I think you're rightfully so. You should hate Hades. Don't hate your sister. Wicked Witch is going to deal with Emma while Hades is looking for other allies that are probably attacking. She has savior magic. Emma can defeat this protection spell. Wow, Emma and the Wicked Witch have never really talked very much together before. You want to hurt Hades, and that's the same thing. Well, Zelina, once you find out how evil he is, you'll realize that Emma's right. Oh, so the Wicked Witch found those pages. Just yeah, you love Hades, but sometimes family has to come first. So Rob and Regina just grabbed their daughter back. Not Regina's daughter, obviously, but Hades, knowing that they would sneak in, was clever enough to trick his way out and then come back. So now they're in danger. Yeah. Yeah. If you kill Regina, the Wicked Witch is not gonna forgive you. Yeah, see, that's what I said. No underworld, no moving on. The next you don't. No spirit world, no heaven. You just don't exist. That's what this crystal does to you. It's kind of sad. No, no, Hades! He threatened to use the crystal on the evil queen, but Robin jumped in the obstacle and sacrificed his life to save Regina. So yes, now without spoiling anything for newcomers, you now know who the person is. I know I've already said it before, theoretically, but I'm sorry. Anyway, so there's Robin's body just collapsing to the ground, and there's this. Then there now we see his spirit just vanishing in nothingness, as if he was never created to begin with. He's completely gone. I'd be upset if one of my creations just got destroyed like that. You know. So I'm like, yeah, we don't know how it all works in the end, but like in the afterlife, if I somehow do become like God, and maybe along with that some spirit children and stuff, I'd never want to create a crystal like that because I would hate for all my creations to be wasted. So yes, so Robin is completely gone. He's not even in the underworld. He's not in heaven. He's God. Thanks, thanks to Hades. Unfortunately, Wicked Witch walks in. Wicked Witch is coming in and was kind of is acting upset. So the Wicked Witch is upset that Emma was coming to destroy Hades, and then the Wicked Witch found out that Hades killed Robin, not killed him, but destroyed him. Um, and then and then Hades, still using his good of persuasion to keep the Wicked Witch on his side. Wicked Witch is kind of in, yeah. So here's what's happening here. So yes, after the Wicked Witch found out Hades killed Robin and found out that he trapped them in the underworld, his Zelina and Regina pushes Hades and he drops the crystal and Wicked Witch grabs it. Wicked Witch has a choice, and and Hades is persuading her on using the crystal to get revenge on her sister, and the Regina is convincing the Wicked Witch that she sacrificed herself for her. Like, Regina believed in the Wicked Witch when no one else did. Okay, remember, when Cora moved on, Regina believed in the Wicked Witch that she could change Hades for the better. Obviously that failed, but she believed her when no one else did. And that's true love right there. And Robin sacrificed his life for Regina, and that's also true love. And so the Wicked Witch, so Regina's trying to tell the Wicked Witch and say, love, it's sacrifice, it's giving up everything for the person you love. And Hades doesn't love you. He just wants all the power. And I mean, even if he does love you, it's not real love. And he's just trying to say all she's trying to say all this to win her sister back. And Hades is trying to do all this to get revenge. And anyway, so Wicked Witch came to a realization. Remember when she said there's no better revenge than having it all? She said, well, she realized that there's nothing will ever satisfy revenge for her. Like We learn from Regina. When you get revenge, you just have a hole in your heart, and you end up being sad for the rest of your life and lonely with no friends or family. And so anyway, it's not worth it. It's not worth to get revenge. And so Wicked Witch finally makes the ultimate hero sacrifice. Chooses good over evil. She's no longer the Wicked Witch. She chooses good over evil and kills Hades instead of her sister. That's her ultimate redemption arc for the Wicked Witch. So anyway, now we have Hades who died. The Wicked Witch is sad because she did love him, but he was like the devil, unchangeable. It's time for him to go. And then Robin also died, and that's who the funeral is going to be on. We're going to watch the funeral. The funeral's going to show up in just a second. In the meantime, we're in the underworld. And for helping everyone defeat Hades, Hook is on the offer to move on to heaven, and he's trying to bring Arthur. He's trying to ask Arthur to come along with him, but Arthur wants to stay in the underworld because after helping defeat Hades, King Arthur wants to make up for all his bad deeds, for all the evil things he's done by helping a broken underworld kingdom. So Arthur's going to be the new king of the underworld, but he's not going to be evil like Hades anymore. He was evil once, but he's not going to be evil anymore. He's going to be a good guy and help people move on. So now we can move on from the underworld arc, knowing that Arthur's going to help everyone move on. We don't need to worry about anyone else trying to move on anymore, because Arthur will take care of it, and he's going to fix the underworld to make it better and bloom hope. Remember, every time when hope was growing in the underworld, when flowers would bloom, Hades would destroy him. Arthur's going to do whatever he can to let those flowers bloom and make an underworld a better place. Life after death is now going to be a better place because of King Arthur. So Hook is in heaven. He's you could call it the either celestial kingdom or Mount Olympus, whatever. But he's in heaven where Zeus is, and Zeus is here to escort him down the covenant path. He's on the straight and narrow to his happily ever afterlife. He moved on from the underworld. See, our whole flashback was replaced with Hook trying to move on. So, and look, here's Emma talking to him from beyond the grave, saying goodbye to him one last time. Yeah, it is true. We lost Hook this season, and we lost Robin Hood this season. This is a sad season 5, guys. It did help Hook move on. Helping defeat Hades has helped Hook move on, and so Emma's hoping that he moved on to a better place, and we've just been reassured that he did. Happy ending for Hook. Emma's kind of sad because she misses Hook, and she loved him, and everyone Emma has been with is dead. She loved Graham died. She loved Walsh died. She loved Neil died, and now Hook. Everyone Emma's been with, every single partner, like, you can't marry someone and just stay with them. I guess you just keep losing them. Who in real life has lost 4 husbands in a row? I mean, like, that's crazy. I should not be happy and joyful right now. This is a funeral scene. This should be a little more sad, guys, and more calm talking. So, notice at this funeral, over Robin's casket, people are dropping arrows with flowers tied around them on top of his coffin. Yeah, because he loves shooting bow and arrows, and he never missed a target. So, I mean, to honor Robin's death at the funeral, bring arrows with roses around them. Now, most people do white and black, but hey, these ones are red. I want mine to be red. Make sure you do red flowers at my funeral. Honestly, honestly, well, none of you. If I get to live to be 100, none of you should be alive by then. But it would be cool if everyone from this marathon came to my funeral. They knew me because of this marathon. Anyway, I doubt you'll be alive because I'm trying to make it to 100. Yeah, that's even sadder because Robin was born right before the Underworld arc, and so he never got to name his daughter because he's been too busy trying to save Hook and a bunch of other things. And the Wicked Witch, trying to honor the person she manipulated and abused, right, sexually. Wicked Witch is trying to honor Robin Hood by naming his daughter after him. Robin is a girl's name, guys. It's a girl's name officially now. It's not just a boy's name. Robin Hood. Well, without the hood, she's just Robin. But anyway, that's what the Wicked Witch is naming her daughter. So no, I hope so. We never again have a day like today because we lost two people this season. We lost Hook and Robin. I hope we never have another season like that, right? You can't kill two major characters in one season. That's too much. So after the funeral buffet is at Granny's. So like how after a funeral, usually you end it with a buffet like funeral potatoes and ham and stuff, yada yada yada. Usually as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we do it at the church. And one fun time they do it at Granny's because that's the hot place in town. Which means at my funeral you should be doing it at Pizza Pie. anyway, anyway, why am I talking about mine? Mine should be three three quarters of a century away. Almost. I'm not 25. I'm 23. What? So Emma wants to say goodbye alone to Captain Hook at least, and Robin Hood, I guess. And as she's saying goodbye to both of them, Hook appears out of nowhere. Zeus sent him back to life for helping defeat Hades as a reward. Zeus got him a happy ending. Now, if I was Zeus, why didn't you bring Robin back? Because that's not fair to Regina. Remember, Emma has ruined Regina's happy ending several times. She brought Marion back. That ruined Regina's happy ending. And then now Hook gets her Hook comes back and Robin doesn't. She gets her man. She gets to bring her man back and not Regina's. That's so unfair to our evil queen who's been trying to repent and be good for seasons now. Are you really trying to degrade her? Anyway, yeah, Hades, you should have took Rumple's deal. He offered to protect you in exchange for the Olympian crystal. You should have gave up your weapon just for protection. Then Hades would have still been alive for the finale, but nope, he decided to commit suicide. Rumple, yes, as Rumple said before, it's his kingdom. Okay, that's the end of that episode, which is going to lead us into the finale. Okay, you can push it, but don't start it. Okay, go to 0 seconds, and I'll tell you the timestamp. I just got to say something first. It's 43 minutes and 44 seconds if you're watching Disney Plus, and it's called Only You, Season 5, Episode 22. Only You is an actual song, actually, so I can't believe they used the song title. So, at the end, Rumple grabs so apparently when the Wicked Witch killed the god of death with the Olympian crystal, Hades destroyed, never to exist again, right? But it also destroyed most of the crystal. Some of the crystal survived Hades' defeat, and Rumple has the rest of that crystal. So anyway, Rumple grabs the crystal, and he's gonna, who knows what he's gonna be up to in the finale. He's kind of gonna play. He's so obsessed with trying to free Belle, he's gonna try to get more power to break her sleeping curse. So anyway, so yeah, Rumple's being an evil person again, which is not good. Yeah, but like as he said, if I were Hades, I would have taken Rumple's deal. Rumple knew what he was talking about. He knows Storybrooke from behind his back, and he knew Hades wasn't going to survive. Hades didn't believe him, and that's what ended up causing Hades' extinction. I don't want to say death because Hades even described being killed by the Olympian crystal is worse. So I can't say death here. Non-existent, now that he's non-existent, he should have taken Rumple's deal. Rumble would have protected him. He would have been in the finale. But anyway, I'm kind of glad he's gone. Because like the main vibe and theme of here is to compare him with the devil, and I'm tired of doing that. I'm ready for better villains that are able to repent. Anyway, so I'm glad Hades is gone. But like, anyway, yeah, if you were Hades, you would have wanted to take Rumple's deal, obviously. Because he would have protected you, even if it meant you would lose the crystal. But Hades didn't want to risk losing his crystal. So anyway, he paid the ultimate price, obviously, when the Wicked Witch used the crystal on him. Yes, the Wicked Witch killed her own boyfriend. Imagine killing your own boyfriend, but it was the right thing to do. That's crazy. That's still hard. The last thing you want to do is kill someone you love. But anyway, yes. But more importantly, who cares about Hades? Robin Hood died, and that's probably very sad. The I don't know what it's called, but the Regina Robin Hood ship is over. So if you rooted for them, I'm sorry, it's over. Captain Swan, on the other hand, Hook did move on from the underworld. He went to heaven, but Jesus decided to send him back because, okay, it was, to be fair, most people very few people can claim they came back from the dead, but that's because it wasn't their time and God just sent them back. I would say in this case, it was Hook's time to die, but he was rewarded he was rewarded with extra mortality because he helped defeat Hades. So anyway, he gets some overtime. Either that, or you could say it wasn't his time. But anyway, he was dead for 10 episodes. So partially it was his time. Normally you'd come back shorter than that. Anyway, I've heard many stories in the real life stories of people who died and went to heaven and they got sent back or something. If that ever happens to me, I hope that's the case because I'm going to try to live to be 100. There was one church movie I watched actually one time where a boy dies and Christ is like, how do you like my kingdom? How what do you think? He's like, and he goes, it's great, but I was hoping I would baptize my mom, and that's what his belief and hope that he would baptize his mom sent him back to Earth, and I don't know if this one's based on a true story, but I feel like it is. Anyway, Christ gave him 60 days, and those 60 days he was able to baptize his mom. But 60 days later, he thought it meant 60 days before he had to leave and go stay in the spirit world. But no, 60 days later, it was his mom who died. So that was kind of a plot twist. I didn't come to realization until the night before. Oh, wait, what if it's his mom? Anyway, sorry. That's a whole different subject than what we're watching tonight. But anyway, so yes. Why did I mention that? Well, Hook just came back alive. So Swan, when you thought Captain Swan was over, it's back on. The ship of Emma and Hook is back on. If you want to root for them, go ahead. But Robin and Regina is permanently over. I know the rest of the show. It's not a spoiler. They don't come back together. That might not be exactly true. I can't explain why that's not exactly true. But let's just say the Robin that we know that loves Regina is not coming back. Okay. There will be another version of Robin Hood at some point. In some point in the show, it's going to get confusing and there's going to be multiple versions of multiple characters. And you'll kind of see what I mean when we watch this finale. So let's get started. Okay, this is a two-parter finale. It's 2 episodes long. So when part 1 ends, we're going to treat it like 1 episode, and I'm not going to talk very much in between the 2 episodes, okay? All right. Yep. Anyway, seeing if there's more comments. Nope. I've already read my grandma's comments. That was about it. All right. Okay, we're going to start the season finale. Here we go. Are you ready? It's an hour and a half. When we finish the first 43 minutes, we're going to just go straight to the next part. So don't no talking. We will, like most 2-hour episodes, like all the other 2-hour episodes, except for the first half of season 5, which really didn't feel like a 2-hour episode anyway, which is why we did part 1 on one Sunday and part 2 on the next Sunday. But anyway, this one does definitely feel like 1 episode. So anyway, we are not, so we won't watch the recap either. We'll just start right where, anyway. I'll tell you when that is when we get to it. But let's start part 1, okay? We're going to start with the recap on part 1. All right. If everyone's timestamps at 0, we're going to push play in Not when I say one, but when I say now. Three, two, wait, hang on. Three, two, one, now. Robin Hood died. We watched his funeral, and Rumble stole the remains of the Olympian crystal. So I guess this is why the season finale is still the underworld arc, because you have Olympian crystal, which is part of the Greek mythology. So don't worry, the crystal will be gone by the end of the finale. By the way, with this being the season finale, you know what that means? The underworld profiles are coming down after tonight. No more half season arcs, so I'm not going to do any new profiles. I'm just going to put them back to normal for the rest of the marathon. So it was fun doing these themed arcs with you that are mostly one themed, like Camelot Underworld stuff. But those one themed arcs are over. We're going season 6 is the start of like new stuff. Season 1 and 2, and there's new stuff every single episode. It's not mainly one arc theme. It's not one movie themed like the seasons 3 through 5 have been. No more Neverland Oz only. There's a bunch of other things coming in the following season. Yeah, so Violet thought Henry was gonna be dead. She thought she was never gonna see him again when they went to the underworld. Well, Violet, it was only temporary. Relax. See, even Emma and Hook are acknowledging the fact that Regina's going to go outrageously mad if Emma shows up with her guy back, right? It's not fair that Hook survives, Robin doesn't. You're going to break the news carefully. Uh, that might not be the right thing to do. Just kidding. So Rumple, remember he trapped Belle in Pandora's box, which is where the baddest of all evil go. You could trap, they were going to trap Peter Pan in there back in season 3. He's not being mean to Belle. He just put her in there so he can easily carry her back to the real world. Rumple wants more power. Wow. Rumple needs all the power of the gods in order to wake Belle up. He's being so evil right now. He loves power too much. How is being the power of all the dark ones not enough for you, Rumple? Yeah. Let's talk some more quiet words. More, because it's delicate. Unfortunately, Rumple did something that puts the whole town in chaos, and Hook walks in, leaving the surprise a little less yeah, see? Yeah, it was a shocking surprise. That's not what Emma was trying to do. She was trying to be delicate about it. And Rumple ruined that moment, so now Regina's gonna be mad at her again. Rumple, yep. So some of the crystal, like even Wicked Witch knows that the crystal got destroyed. But it looks like some of it survived, you know. So that's a little bit we have left from the Greek mythology is that crystal. Yeah, Emma is worried about the evil queen coming back, and she doesn't want Regina to turn evil because Zeus brought Hook back, not Robin. Wow. Emma kind of ruined her relationship with Regina. They had a good bond going right there as like sisters. And Emma thinks, Emma played the wrong card thinking she was going to go evil and she's not. These mistakes is what kind of could cause someone to go evil, though. Emma, you never learn from your mistakes. You keep ruining Regina's happiness, even though bringing Marion back was more your fault than Hook was. But at least Marion was the Wicked Witch, though. Hook is not being disguised as anybody. So Henry breaks into Rumple's shop to grab something. Yep. Magic. Yep. So Henry is saying magic just first of all, magic killed his dad, and magic also killed Regina's first love. Magic. So yeah, so sorry. Henry was saying more stuff. He's saying the needle, the sleeping curse needle, put dozens of people under a sleeping curse they can't wake from. An entire village is trapped in a snow globe. Um, let's see. Violet's mom died from magic. That we didn't even see on the show, but that was mentioned. Henry's father died from magic. Regina's first true love, died from magic. Um, Henry's Regina's second love just died. And so yeah, now magic's gonna tear Henry's moms apart. Both of his moms apart. I doubt that. But anyway, he thinks all magic is evil now. He doesn't think there's good and dark magic anymore. He thinks there's only dark magic. There's no longer light magic. That's wrong. So Henry breaks the author rules. This is not good. He writes the crystal into his hands. My goodness. So plot twist: Henry stole the crystal from Rumple, and he's gonna take it to out of Storybrooke to destroy it once and for all. The last time someone tried to destroy magic was right before the half season arc started, right before Neverland. Greg and Tamara tried to destroy magic as a distraction to steal Henry and take him to Neverland. That's what started all these half arcs, right? Now they're ending with Henry wanting to destroy magic. What the heck? It's easy to see villains destroy magic. One of our own heroes wants to destroy magic. So Rumple's threatening to hurt Henry because he stole the crystal from him. And if never cross paths with Rumpelstiltskin. Henry's not safe if Rumple finds him. Rumple, be nice to your grandson. Henry has ran away so many times that Emma decided to put a GPS on his phone. That is smart. You could find out where he is by the location of his phone. So yes, it looks like he left Storybrooke already. So with magic possibly getting destroyed and there being no magic in the town after Henry destroys magic, exactly. Wicked Witch, the Wicked Witch is the only one that can use the apprentice's wand, and and she's like, "Can you send them a portal without the twister?" And Snow says, and the Wicked Witch is like, "You heroes are no fun," as a joke. But she's trying to be a hero herself, so if she thinks it's not fun, then too bad. It's better to be a hero than a villain, whether it's fun or not. So, two plot twists here. If they destroy magic, then none of the Camelot characters can go home. Neither can the Robin Hood band. Remember how they were not from Storybrooke either? They were originally from the Cham Forest until the Wicked Witch brought them here. Uh, everyone. So Snow White and the Wicked Witch decide to send everyone home right now while magic is still around before Henry destroys it. And so it shouldn't be a problem. No one should be stuck in Storybrooke if they go home now. So anyway, if they destroy magic, um, then there will be no magic in the real world, not even for Storybrooke. So if they don't stop Henry, then magic's going to be gone forever in Once Upon a Time. They'll stop him. Once Upon a Time's not a show without magic. So yes, now we're officially saying goodbye to Camelot characters. Merida, uh, you see Guinevere walking through the door. Not Arthur though, because he's in the underworld. Guinevere and Lancelot, they're all going in there by Camelot characters, but it's not just them. Anyone that was from Neverland that came to Storybrooke is going in there. I think Tinkerbell went in there. Um, we're saying goodbye to all the half season arcs because we're done with those. We're done with the seasons that are focused on one theme. Um, let's see. Yeah, we're probably saying goodbye to some Lost Boys, Neverland, and then Oz, and then Arendelle already went home already. Queens of Darkness, they're fine. Camelot, they're going in right now, and then Underworld, they're dead. They can't be here anyway. So yep, everyone from Neverland, Oz, Wonderland, all those places we've been to are now going back home. So talk about the show that has too many characters to keep track of. We just got rid of a bunch of them, so we can keep track of our core ones. So so luckily they did send everyone home because after everyone sent everyone home, Wicked Witch was trying to close the portal, and due to the magic and the crystal, it caused some minor errors in the magic closing part and transported and made a little twister. The door kind of turned into like a what is it called? Not a tornado. What is it called? A hurricane? No. Yeah, like a hurricane, like the ones in the water, not the on land. The tornadoes that are in water, like upside down in water. The hurricane. The portal kind of turned into a hurricane and dragged everyone in it into another world. So now, yes, now we have half of our fairy tale characters trapped in another world. Again, it's not the first time that's happened. We've been to the underworld, we've been to Camelot, we've been to so many other things. Emma still thinks Regina's going to turn evil, so she doesn't trust her. And all Regina wants is Emma's blood. All Emma, so she has a needle, and it could be a sleeping curse, but luckily it's not. Regina is just using Emma's blood to find, you know, Emma's offspring, obviously. Um, Emma's blood isn't, in. Yeah. Rumple might have found that out. So yeah, Rumple is also related to Henry. so he could use his blood to find Henry, right? Emma Regina was just using Emma's blood to find her DNA, and Henry, which it's also in Snow and Charming, by the way. It could have took you back to Storybrooke. But anyway, Rumple already knows. Emma and Regina are like, I hope Rumple hasn't figured that out yet. Well, Rumple's already in New York. So they went to Boston thinking he went to Boston, but it ended up being New York all along. So we haven't been to New York since Henry found her. No, 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 no. We've been to New York after that. Remember the Pam's curse that trapped everyone back into the Enchanted Forest? That was the last time we were in New York. We last time we saw New York was season 3. Wow. No, no, Rumple was banished to New York when Belle pushed him across the town line. Never mind. Never mind. Last time we were in New York was season 4. Not when Henry found his dad. Not when they went back for a year. Pie, guys. Pumpkin pie. That will get me to shut up so you can enjoy the show for a minute. So no, so these heroes, Snow, Charming, Wicked Witch, and Hook, are trapped in another world, and they don't know where they are. And if they don't get back in time before Henry destroys magic, they'll be trapped for good. Who is this guy, right? You're wondering who is this guy with glasses who is scared of magic? Hmm. He just zapped them with electronic device full of lightning, so they got knocked out. Oh no, it's a weird dungeon. Wow, whoever trapped them in this dungeon is powerful enough to not to cast a protection spell. Exactly. You don't want to be here. Plot twist: this guy knows Rumpelstiltskin. I wonder how. You'll find out. You won't find out now because this is the season finale. But we will find out in season 6 how Rumpelstiltskin knows this guy who's choking Hook right now. So this evil guy has trapped Snow, Hook, and Charming and the Wicked Witch in a special magical prison that's kind of weird and not full of bars. I mean, it has bars, but it's kind of like a pipe cage. Weird, not square like real jail cells. So we haven't been to Neil's apartment since season 4 when when Robin and Marion were in there, and before that it was Emma, and before that it was Neil. Neil died so many seasons ago back in the Oz arc. So many people died in these half season arcs. Main characters too. Robin. Yeah. Yeah. This world's version of fairy tales is all wrong compared to Once Upon a Time. That's not how they played out. You thought he was a fox for once, not a human. So Robin wrote Regina. Back when Robin was in love with Marion, before we found out she was the Wicked Witch, um, he wrote a letter to Regina. I'm gonna be quiet. Yep. So Robin wrote a letter to Regina back when he was with Marion and didn't send it for some reason. Mhm. So here's the conversation of what's been going on. I did not want to talk because it's really good, and for anyone who's actually watching the show with this live stream, I wanted to be quiet. Anyway, anyway, so so yes, Rumple. Okay, Rumple was also spying on them. They found out that Henry's in a library, and Rumple heard them from behind his own son's door. That's probably a bad place to hang out because Rumple can guess where that you're there. Okay, so this is the forbidden library that no one in the public gets allowed to see except for Henry and Violet. Apparently, they get special access. I wonder why. There must be magic here. Anyway, anywho, so while Violet and Henry are looking for stuff, Regina um was talking about how 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 she hates doing good. She hates choosing the right, and there's a reason for that. So anytime she chooses the right, she gets a lot of loss and heartbroken. Anytime she chooses evil, she faces evil consequences and gets heartbroken regardless. So it's like there's no happiness in good or evil for her, is what she feels like. That's not true, but that's what she feels like. And so she's trapped because like she can't be good if she doesn't want to lose the people she loves. She can't be evil if she doesn't want to lose the people that she hasn't lost yet. So it's kind of a trap. She doesn't want to lose anybody that she loves. But yeah, it's like this no matter what she does, something bad always happens to her with Robin and not Neil, what's his name? Daniel. Um he's first, she thought about it, and the first thought she had, because she's been the evil queen before. The first thought she had was to kill Hook because it's not, and rip his throat out because it's not fair that he survives and Robin doesn't. But then she knew that was wrong, so she casted that thought away and chose good. But she hates every moment of it, and Emma's trying to persuade her that she doesn't believe that. She believes that Regina can get happiness, but that's because Emma is good and she believes in hope and she believes in the best of people. And Regina is like, well, for me, it's a simple choice, really. I'm trapped and I don't know what to do. I don't want to be evil. I don't want to be good. I don't know what to do. So anyway, even if she chooses to be good, she has to live with her past consequences. She has to live with her past evil deeds. And like, yes, honestly, when you repent, you shouldn't have to worry about that anymore. That should be gone. But Regina doesn't know that. She thinks she has to suffer consequences for what she did, which is true in the moment. But once you repent for those things, they're completely forgotten about. You might remember them, but they're but don't worry about it. It's fine. People make mistakes. But anyway, Regina's struggling with her good and evil side, and she doesn't know what to do. So, so what has happened since I said that? Henry and Violet are looking through books. The people that are trapped in this weird realm right now, Hook, Snow, Charming, and Wicked Witch, are all fighting on trying to get out of here. And they're like, Wicked Witch is like, you? I could rearrange a trip back to the underworld if you want, as a joke. No, we're done with the underworld. Let's not go back there. And then this guy comes back in, the one that they saw in the garden before they got zapped, is it comes back in to persuade them and get him to trust him. They don't trust him because he barely even talked to them when they got zapped. So they decide to give reassurance, and he's like, "Hey, don't worry. I want to get away from this warden as much as you do. The warden is the evil guy who threatened them earlier and knows the dark one. He wants to get rid of this guy who knows the dark one as much as they do. And so, do you know this guy from the garden? He's like, give me that one, and I'll do whatever I can to fix it. So we go in, and they learn, and they give him a reason to trust him, which is that he wants to get away from the warden as much as he does. So they give him the wand, and that might be a mistake. He's going to try to fix it. But who knows if the gardener will come back with the wand or not. Camelot! We're getting mansions back to Camelot! This finale has Underworld and Camelot on it! Yeah. So so the reason why remember when Bellfire wanted to destroy magic? Um, he gave up trying to look. He gave up trying to look because he never went to Camelot. Henry's been to Camelot and he knows that the Grail, the Holy Grail, turned into Excalibur. We learned that from the Camelot arc. So, but it was the beginning of all magic. He gave Merlin his magic and it turned the fairy tale world into magic. Um, so if that was the real start of all magic, then that's the Grail that will end it all. And so, anyway, how did that end up in the real world? Is it because it's the land of no magic? That Holy Grail is at least not a sword, but anyway. Anyway, Rumple follows them to the library and knocks Henry and Violet out. He doesn't kill them because that's his grandson and possibly future granddaughter, in law, right? So he decides to knock Henry and Violet out, just to knock them asleep. Being the kind grandfather he is and evil at the same time is probably hard. Anyway, he just knocks them out, steals the crystal, and walks away. So Henry just found the Holy Grail, the opposite version of it anyway, that can destroy all magic. And once he's proven that it's magical, he was just seconds away from destroying the crystal with that destroy magic thing. But Rumple knocked him out before he could do that. So anyway, luckily Henry hasn't destroyed magic yet, thanks to Rumpelstiltskin. Hyde Hat is like a scientist. He's like Dr. Frankenstein here. I mean, not Hyde. Sorry. This gardener, I probably accidentally revealed what this story is. This gardener um, used magic. He didn't use magic. He used science to put the wand back together. He took his glasses off too. Huh? Interesting. Well, that's creepy. That's like a Frankenstein creepiness. So, plot twist: Jackal is the gardener, and this is his counterpart. I don't think that name has been revealed. I think you know the story. So so Jackal was fixing the wand with his scientifically discoveries. He should meet Dr. Wells. He should meet Dr. Frankenstein. He would be a great partner, especially since he's more like Frankenstein than Dr. Well is. Um, um, he fixes the wand, but then the person with the taser comes in, who tased all the heroes and put them in jail. He comes in to give the guy to give Jackal the potion, which turned him into the villain, the warden. That captain in there in the first place. So anyway, uh, you know, um, he wants to use the wand to get to this storybook that these heroes are talking about, and little does he know, little do the heroes know that it's not just this warden who wants to go to Storybrooke. He wants everyone in this little realm that we're being introduced to go to the Storybrooke. It's called the Land of Untold Stories. Henry's being a grumpy teenager right now. Yep, Rumple has the crystal. Yep, he's still in New York. Magic is gone. So at first, you know how when you leave Storybrooke, magic doesn't usually work. Well, magic started working when Regina threw her phone into the garbage can and it went on fire. But now it's not working again. So yeah, what's going on? Magic's starting to work in this world, and now it's not. What's going on? So So Emma and Regina found Henry in the library and Violet, and he explained everything about wanting to destroy magic because Violet's mom died and his dad died. Anyway, he didn't want to tell them about the Holy Grail, so he lied about it and said they didn't find anything. And so anyway, he decided to play along and help them find Rumple to get the crystal back. Fortunately, Henry's blood is the only thing that's related to Rumple biologically, and they didn't find him because the magic's not working. Rumple did something to the crystal to prevent their magic from working. Hell no. So Belle sets, the Pandora's box that has Belle in it. He puts the box on top of a bed. He puts it on top of the. Yeah, Rumple's upset because he put the Pandora's box on top of a bed so that when he woke up Belle, she would lay somewhere softly, right? Um, he put the crystal on a table, and a portal was about to form, and he had to choose between the crystal or Belle. And he chose the power over Belle. That tells you that Rumpel still loves power more than Belle. He doesn't love them both. He loves power more than Belle. Like we learned that in season 4. He never gives up power for her. Stupid Rumpel, you're too addictive. You choose the electricity. I mean, you choose the lightning bolt over. You choose Zeus's weapon over. Anyway, so Belle falls through the portal. Hyde steals it, steals his girlfriend in a way. And if Rumpel wants to see his Belle again, he's gonna have to do. Rumpel's gonna have to do exactly what Mr. Hyde wants him to do. Plot twist. Have you ever heard the story of Jacqueline Hyde? Okay, we're gonna start the next episode. I promise this was not gonna act like two different episodes. Okay, this is the last episode. Season 5, episode 23 is called An Untold Story, and we're starting it right away. Um, we're skipping the recap though, because this is supposed to be one episode. So anyway, hang on. Let me tell you the timestamp really quick. Okay, okay, hang on. Let me tell you in a second. I'm trying to get it set. Okay, so in case you don't know, push the next episode. Normally, when we do two-parter episodes, I normally have two separate Disney Plus tabs, so we could just push play. I did not prepare that this time. But anyway, if you watch in the Disney Plus version, skip the recap. If you do skip the recap, make sure you pause it right before the title sequence starts, which is 44 minutes and 28 seconds remaining. So if your Disney Plus does not say 44 minutes and 28 seconds, try your best in the next couple seconds that I talk here to fix it. Otherwise, pause the live stream. But it's only been like what? Um about 40 seconds since the episode started because I'm skipping the recap because this is supposed to be one episode. If you're watching the DVD version, they did keep these two episodes together. So you're probably already watching the next part. And let me tell you now that streaming services, this is where they cut the episode off, is where Hyde says, you know, if the Dark One wishes to see his wife again, he has to do exactly what I say. Like it ends like right after that. So yes, and it should be showing the title sequence anyway. So if you're on the title sequence and you accidentally kept it playing, just rewind it a tiny bit, pause it, and I'll tell you when to push play. I just need to quickly say this. So yes, Rumble chose the crystal over Belle, but you should know by now this episode's called An Untold Story. So let me give you some information about this land that's no longer a spoiler. This is the land of untold stories, stories that never got a happy ending, and they all live in this land. Um, to be fair, yes, this show is ongoing and it never has a happy ending, so it makes sense for some of our heroes to be here. I don't know why they weren't here in the first place, because you know we all thought that when the curse was broken, it was happily ever after, but no, we had season after season of adventure and adventure, and it's still ongoing. But anyway, um, we're almost towards the end. We got 2 seasons left. But anyway, before we finish this finale with part 2, I just want to say that the story that we're following here is the story of Jacqueline Hyde. If you don't know that story, it's about this guy. He's a doctor. He invents a serum. He invents a magical potion, if you will, and it separates the good and evil of someone. Not separates, but it turns, you know, so like, you know, there's the evil version of you, like the evil queen, right? And then the good version, like Regina. Like Regina's a good example of this. You got the dark one and Rumple. Every character in Once Upon a Time has a dark side and a light side. We're all born with the potential of good and evil. And in the story of Jackal and Mr. Hyde, Jackal makes a serum that you know separates the good from the evil of you. Like you know the evil personalities and the good personalities. So there's the villain version of you and the hero version of you. Um, he doesn't succeed though, and the serum accidentally just ends up turning him evil. Like how we saw with Jackal when the zapper guy, the guy who zapped all the heroes in prison, when that guy put the potion in Jackal, the gardener, you know, he turned into Mr. Hyde, the villain, right? That trapped them in there. Anyway, so yes, Dr. Jackal and Mr. Hyde is like Rumpelstiltskin. It's not a Disney movie. It's just a random fairy tale folklore that Disney hasn't adapted yet. But anyway, I didn't know this fairy tale existed until Once Upon a Time came along, so that's how I learned about it. And then I looked up fairy tale movies about it, and they have made movie adaptations of this, but there's no Disney version of it. So I'm kind of surprised, really, because Disney's all about good versus evil, and Once Upon a Time is too. Why isn't Disney making Jekyll and Mr. Hyde movie? But anyway, no, I don't know if that would be good because Disney's not as great as it used to be. But anyway, so that's what this is from. And as you see right now, our good friend here, Jackals, is now evil Mr. Hyde. But we'll see him switch back and forth again in part two. So anyway, just thought I would throw that information out there. We're gonna start the episode now. So again, 44 minutes, 28 seconds. I hope I gave you enough time. If you're watching the DVD or some other version that's different, I'm pretty sure. Make sure it's right at the end of the recap. Right, like just 1 second away from the title sequence. If for some reason this doesn't help and we're 1 second off stream, I'm sure you could somehow find out, or I don't know. As we're talking about the show, but I sometimes get behind when talking about things, so that's not always accurate. So good luck. I just hope you can sync with me as much as you can. But yeah, if you're watching the DVD version, hopefully you pause right before the title sequence. From the previous scene of Jackal saying, Mr. Hyde saying, if Rumple wants to see his daughter, his wife or child to be again, he has to do exactly what I say. I hope you stop right after that. All right, here we go. Are you ready? Don't push play when I say one. Remember, wait until I say NOW. Okay. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, now. 5, it's a 23. Look, it's a blimp. It's a floating blimp. It's a floating blimp. Woo! Our official goodbye to the underworld. The Land of Untold Story seems more fun. See, my hair's a mess. I'm glad I'm wearing a hat. Yeah, Jackal wakes up and he tries to steal a potion from the guard that you know that trapped everyone. They never give him a name, okay? Jackal comes back, but he doesn't have the wand. So yeah, so Jackal lets everyone out of the prison, and Hook talks to Jackal privately, saying, "I just went to hell and back, like underworld and back. I'm not afraid of your warden. He's not as dangerous as Hades was. This warden is not that. Hey, Mr. Hyde can't be as evil as Hades. Nothing could be as evil as Hades." So anyway, yeah. Look. The Land of Untold Story is like all the realms at once. You have Agrabah, you have Wonderland, you have all the realms in one location. And the reason why it's like this is because this is a land of untold stories, or people's stories never got finished, and that can happen anywhere. Wonderland, Neverland, Oz, whatever. Yes, this land is full of stories, but they're untold and unfinished stories. Henry's the author. He could just write them a happy ending, can he? Oh wait, no, he can't change the things in his. He can't change reality. He can only record it. Never mind. Oh, get your best hot dogs in town. So Violet's trying to convince Henry to run back to his mom's and to trust them. So anyway, but all Henry cares about is trying to get the crystal back from Rumple and not working with his moms or something. So Violet's on Team Henry for supporting him in that decision. Henry and Violet. Yeah, Violet's never been to New York, so this must be nice. And Rumple has a storm cloud in the air over his apartment. That I'm surprised. How's the whole world not distracted by the fact that there's a cloud on just that one apartment? I'm like, what is that cloud doing there? Isn't that suspicious? Look, look, he's asking for room service, and the room service is not people who believe in fairy tales or magic. So this must be creepy for them. And Rumple, I think he puts up a not disturb sign. Rumple, how did you know he was coming without knocking? He's probably wondering, what's that crystal on the table? He's like, what is that crystal? He's creepy. And look, Rumple is short. The actor is short. That's scary. And it says do not disturb on it. Yeah. You don't want to cross paths with Rumple here. Kind of scary. He's short. This is like I didn't realize how short he was until I watched this episode. You know, I actually forgot that was coming. I forgot that he against a bunch of tall people. Rumple is short. He's like less than 6 feet. I feel like. So, oh yeah, Emma and Regina left to find Rumple before they sent the Camelot characters home. So Emma and Regina didn't even know they were trapped in another realm. They forgot. They didn't know. Oh my goodness! If Henry destroys magic, he doesn't know he's going to lose half of his family in the process. That's right. Emma and Regina did not know. I still have a fist. Gold still has a nose. I can punch him without magic. Of course. And if he doesn't have magic to heal himself, he's forced to bleed. The savior doesn't even know I'm here. Not true. This is all part of the plan. They want to steal the crystal back from Rumple. The best student. So Regina's trying to play the evil queen card. Just like Hades played the good card, she's going undercover to be evil for a second. She wants to work with Rumple to wake up Belle. And he goes, no, my best student is the queen, not the lazy, good person Regina. The queen was my best student. Rumple, you always choose evil. What is wrong with you? Yep. Yep. Rumple now knows about it. He didn't know Wicked Witch, Regina, no, Wicked Witch, Snow and Charming, and Hook were trapped in another realm. Luckily, that doesn't last like a half a season or anything. It's the season finale for crying out loud. That only lasts 2 episodes. One, if you count this as one episode. So Regina's trying to pretend that not after what happened to Robin Hood, I don't want to lose anybody else. I'm ready to go back to being evil. Not really. She's just doing this so that they can steal the crystal. Yeah, let's find your sisters. They're in the land of untold stories. By the way, with this being the season finale, if I didn't tell you the half season arcs were going to stop, you probably thought we would be in the untold stories for world for like 11 episodes, but no, we're not. Don't worry. Hyde gets killed off very early in the season, like the first couple episodes. Like I said, it's like season one. Graham only lasted 7. Season one, it's like one episode per character. You don't get a half season. Sorry, Underworld was the last stop. We're also going to just be in Storybrooke the whole time too. So there's the serum that Jackal never succeeded in making till now. In the fairy tale, he failed and ended up turning himself evil, but this time he probably succeeded. He could separate himself from Hyde once and for all. Yep, let's show the warden what you've done. Yeah, he looks like a Dr. Frankenstein. He should team up with Dr. Well. They know the fairy tale. It's not famous. It's not something. It's not common for everyone to know. And yet these people who lived in the real world for 28 years first know the story of Jekyll and Hyde. Apparently, so it's a little more popular than anticipated. Because I never knew about it till this show. Yeah, I have watched interpretations of it since though. I just wish there was a Disney version. So yes. So now he's back to being Mr. Hyde, and all the heroes are running away because they're scared of him. Come on, if you defeated Hades, no one can be worse than that. You can't be scared of Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde is just a step down. Nothing gets higher after Hades. It's a step down from here on out. Rumpel knew all along. She knew Regina was never evil. She knew it was just pretend. Like they were discussing on evil plans on how to get Wake Bell, and get the Wicked Witch back. And then Rumpel stopped their conversation when by grabbing the crystal from Emma's hands, and then saying, "Help to your drink. Help yourself to a drink, Miss Swan." You knew all along they were planning this. Rumpel's too smart, guys. You can't trick him. So all Rumpel want, the only reason Rumpel let Regina in is to use her hair so that he could find them, to find the heroes that are trapped in another world. And now that he has a strand of the Wicked Witch's hair from Regina, they have the same half blood, right? He doesn't need them anymore, so he was going to destroy them with a fireball until Henry used the Grail to destroy all the magic. So Rumple lost his fireball magic. Regina lost hers. Emma lost hers, and the magic from the crystal Henry destroyed. Henry, you did what the real world could not. You destroyed magic. Remember Greg and Tamara? They failed. You destroyed what people could not in the past. You destroyed magic. It's funny how the subplot of destroying magic is what started these half season arcs, and it's what ends it. Poke yourself. Do it. Do it. So the serum that Jackal made, Hyde is now going to use it to separate himself from Jackal, because Jackal didn't use it, due to the gardener person, zapping him out and making him drink the potion again. But now he doesn't have to turn into a zombie version of Hyde. He can just separate himself from himself. Jekyll and Hyde, same person, two different personalities, but same in identity. Jekyll and Hyde are finally two separate beings, not one. Two separate beings. Jekyll and Hyde. The serum worked this time, unlike the fairy tale. Where's your glasses? Jekyll needs his glasses. Did you notice that Hyde has a little bit of red in his eyes? That's kind of gross. Yes, yes. Regina's having the same problem. Jackal said being with you is destroying me. I can't. I'm I'm sick of my evil self. You know how we have all the agent. We all have our own agency of choice to choose between good and evil. Jackal and the Evil Queen are tired of this agency. They want to just force to be. They just want to force to be good. They don't want to choose. Anyway, so they tried separating themselves. Well, not Regina yet, but Jackal and Hyde did. And the heroes came back to save Jackal after they knew that the serum could separate both of them. The Wicked Witch. Come on, you're a hero now. To be clear, I was fine running when Charmin was like, "No, I'm glad we came back to save you because you risked your life for us. We're gonna risk our life for you." Wicked Witch, being a hero means risking your life. Don't. Didn't you learn your lesson from Regina when Robin sacrificed his life? Oh my goodness, Wicked Witch is fine running. She's not. She's just joking. She's actually trying to be good. Oh my goodness. So Rumpel explodes the secret to Henry. Henry did not know his family was trapped in another world. So here's what's happened. Sorry, it's hard for me to talk when I enjoy this show and I love listening and less talking. But anyway, this is supposed to be a commentary, so let me start talking now. All right. Anyway, Henry finds out that everyone's trapped in another world, and he learns it as everyone does. Too late. So he destroyed his chance of reuniting his family by getting rid of all magic. And so anyway, Rumple puts the blame on him and he's like, "That's not my fault, it's yours." Henry tries to, as a teenager does, tries to not take the blame of his actions. Um, yeah, and Emma almost threatened to put him in jail until Rumple says, "Actually, there's someone else who has magic." And let me tell you, do you remember in season 2 when August fell in love with not fell in love, but met Tamara about who faked her cancer and was trying to get magic from this guy called the Dragon who she killed with a laser gun thing, the same thing that they have in the Dr. Jackal world. The dragon has magic. So I mean, if he's still around, even though this is decades later, not decades later, because no wait, because Pinocchio went to the dragon just weeks before he went to Storybrooke. So no, it can't be decades later, just a couple years. He's probably still alive. Don't try to psychoanalyze me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Regina's never gonna turn evil like you, Rumple. She never chooses evil. And not anymore. Yeah, Regina's not like Rumple at all. Yep, the evil queen is who you are. No, it's not. Why am I agreeing with Rumple? Okay. I don't know why I said that. I was just monetizing on the lines. I don't know. I know the show so well. Some episodes I will have memorized. See the dragon. Not a spoiler, was it? Or just mentioning him a few days ago it was a spoiler. The dragon. No, you're a dragon. We know that. I mean, you're not an actual. Well, actually, knowing season six, he does turn into a dragon. He is an actual dragon, but like I was referring to that as his name. His name is the dragon. That doesn't necessarily mean he could turn into one, but he actually does turn into one. He's kind of Chinese like. I feel like he'd belong in like I feel like he'd be like the emperor of China and Mulan like and stuff. So looks like the guy who would be from China. But anyway, no, he's not related to Mulan whatsoever. But he does turn into a dragon. When he does come back in season six, I have something I want to say about him. It's a spoiler, so I won't say it now. Um, for anyone who's watching this for the first time, in our marathon. Um, but there's something about this that I find frustrating. But it's not until season six, so I'll save that for season six. In fact, the dragon doesn't come back until season six, episode eight. So it's going to be a while before we talk about this, but it has something to do with a plot hole. I'll tell you. Well, it's not really a plot hole, but it's kind of something they kind of built up and then kind of abandoned. And anyway, they're in the land of untold stories. That's where Hook and Selena and Snow and Charming are. Fortunately, the dragon's not powerful to conjure a portal. You cannot make a portal to that realm. It's kind of funny. How does the dragon know all this? He's never been to Storybrooke, and he's like a foreteller. Like he's really from China. You know those fortune cookies you get when you order Chinese food? He does feel like a fortune teller China person. He knows things. Pinocchio. So the dragon knows about Storybrooke. He knows Emma's the savior. He knows Regina's the evil queen, and he knows August. He knows Pinocchio, and he knows what Pinocchio taught Emma. So anyway, this is going back to season one here. When Emma had to learn to believe in magic and fairy tales and then break the curse, August tried to get her to believe, but she couldn't believe in his wooden leg, and that's what caused her to kidnap Henry and abduct her son and almost leave Storybrooke. But luckily, Henry convinced her to stay, and they broke the curse. And, through True Kiss and poison apples, they all have to believe in magic again, even after they destroyed it. So it's funny how they all believe in fairy tales because they are fairy tale characters, right? And they all did believe in magic, but now they believe it's destroyed. They have to believe it's not destroyed, even though it is. That's like double season one there. This is a foreshadow of what season six and seven are going to be about. It's going to go back to the season one formula where the curse takes a whole season to break. And along the way, we don't focus on one big storyline. It's just one episode after another of different things, like one episode of Cinderella, one episode of Camelot, one episode like no 11 episode arcs. Like everything's like one episode. And with that said, there's a lot of what is it called? Episodic? No, I don't know if that's the right word I'm using. But you know what? The seasons don't have this many episodes now. But back when they had like 20 plus episodes, like Once Upon a Time, there was filler episodes, ones that don't involve the main storyline. That season six, seven have a lot of filler episodes, and mainly because they don't focus on one big large storyline anymore. It's like standalone episodes. Anyway, yep. Anyway, so Henry's making wishes in the fountain, and that's how Hook came to find them when the Wicked Witch cursed Storybrooke the second time. Emma did the third. kind of hooked too. Um, yep. An aggressive bunny rabbit. So Jack was trying to explain that everyone sees their worst self differently. Some just a reflection in the mirror, and some like a horrible monster. Um, uh, Next time, try a scary bunny rabbit. Is that how you see your evil self? If you turn evil and become like a devil of sorts, you gonna imagine yourself like a rabbit? Well, speaking of the devil, here's Hyde. Caught you in the act, and you're trapped in a dead end corner. No one's gonna believe what you're saying in New York. If you stand in the middle of New York announcing that magic's real, that is gonna get you locked up. So embarrassing. Wow, Henry's gonna get the whole world to believe in magic. Just jump in front of the intercom and announce to the whole public. Well, now we have technology. This is me announcing to the whole world, China, Nebraska, blah 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 blah. Everyone, magic's real. Let me announce that right now. Whoever's watching. Henry, you could just do this on a live stream. Yeah. You know what? I'm like Henry though. I'm not like the rest of my family that gets scared of crowds and stuff and doesn't like public appearances. I could stand up in front of New York and announce that myself. Magic is real. And man, I just went to New York a couple years ago to see Back to the Future the musical. I could have stand in the middle of town square, in the middle of Times Square, and be like, "Go watch Back to." That's in. Yeah, I don't know if I would have anything good to say. Maybe I would be speechless. I don't know. Love an audience. Anyway, I don't know how he got the whole world to just throw coins in the fountain. Don't they think he's a crazy kid? You got the whole world to believe in magic. Like, didn't Henry say in season one that if they believed him at first, it wouldn't be a good story? Shouldn't we spend a whole season on getting the whole world to believe being locked up in an insane asylum for a couple episodes? And come on, you can't. They can't believe like that. That's not a flaw of the show. There's something. I'll get to it. There's a reason why they all believe instantly. There is. Hang on. So yeah, coin wishes. It's raining pennies in the sky. And look, the water creates a ginormous fountain. Ooh, a ginormous tornado twister. Let's jump in the portal. Run! Run! Hyde's gonna go after them. But the portal closes and he misses. Ha ha ha! You're stuck in the Untold Stories. Land of Untold Stories. Bye, Hyde. Hey, the wishes worked. So the dragon was right. Just because Henry destroyed Storybrooke's magic doesn't mean there isn't any in this world. All you have to do is make a wish. A wish upon a star, like Disney. But no, a wish upon a coin in this case. And see, this is why everyone believes in magic. They all think it's an act, like a part of a show, like stagecraft. You know, like when you go to see a play, you know it's not real, but you're drawn into the fantasy, right? Like in Back to the Future, the musical that I saw in New York 2 years ago. And sadly, it's not there anymore. I keep tabs on it. And even the North America tour ends in this July. So yeah, coming to Salt Lake in June though. I'm gonna see it again right before this marathon ends. I'll have to tell you all about it when we get to the series finale because we're this marathon's gonna end in June. Hey, as Emma just said, you did the impossible. You made the whole world believe. They all think it's an act, but that's probably okay. It's the only way they can understand because we don't. If the world did believe in magic, you know, as they said in season two, we'd have buses, tour buses coming up and down through Main Street, and people killing a werewolf, for example. You know, we'd have scientists, you know, trying to lock everyone up because of their magic abilities, and it's probably good that no, the whole world doesn't believe in magic because it would be chaos. Um, But so it's probably safe that they thought it was just an act and not a real thing. So yeah, but Henry, just for a moment, did the impossible, made the whole world believe in magic. How do you explain people jumping out of a fountain? Do you think they just hid behind there and then jumped out? You were watching. I don't think you saw the sneak there. Anyway, so Rumpel actually snuck through the portal and came to the land of untold stories to talk to Mr. Hyde on getting Belle back because Belle obviously didn't make it back to the real world. He was still with Hyde. Hyde, he's trapped in a box. Remember? So Rumpel was about to kill Mr. Hyde for kidnapping Belle, but anyway, Hyde saves his own life by providing information to save Belle from the sleeping curse. So here's Hyde's evil plan. Oh look, he's in the book. He's in the book. He's in Henry's book. Jackal and Hyde are in Henry's book. Yep, Rumpel slipped through the portal when it was open to find Belle, obviously. So Hyde stole Belle as leverage so that he can make a deal with Rumpel. I can give you the information to wake Belle on one condition. What is Rumpel going to give Hyde in return? Regina needs some time alone because she can't handle the fact that her evil self is still a part of her. I mean, yes, you have to accept the good and the bad of yourself. You have to accept both. You have the potential of good as much as you do with evil, and seeing an evil version of yourself is not easy to think about. Hot cocoa and cinnamon, and you're pouring rum into it. Don't do that to my drink, Snow. Snow White is caught up on everything. Emma told Snow White everything about what she's going through. Regina wants to stay good, but she hates it. She doesn't want to go evil either, because otherwise she loses Henry and all her loved ones. So Regina wants to be free of all her sins. Why don't you just repent? You all you have to do is repent. You don't. You can easily be forgiven of those things. Anyway, so with the story of Jekyll and Hyde, you know how Jekyll separated the evil self from him? Regina's gonna almost do the same thing. So yes, it is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde storyline here, but it's not something that's gonna last 11 episodes or whatever. It's like, we're done with those 11 episode arcs. Be ready because season 6 offers a lot, more than what a half a season arc can offer, and more than what 2 halves can offer. Season 6 takes like 20 seasons and combines it into one, okay? Imagine everything you just watched in season 3, 4, 5 with Neverland, Oz, Frozen, Queens of Darkness, Camelot, Underworld. Imagine all of that in one season instead of 3. Get ready. Season 6 is going to be a heck of a ride next. So, Emma Snow goes back to get Emma, and they added the serum that separated Jekyll and Hyde. But they brought over some leftovers in the real world. There's just enough to separate the evil queen from Regina. Yeah, Snow White told a secret, and that's what brought the evil queen into this world. And so Snow White wants this. Snow White was gave the birth to the evil queen, and she wants to see Regina end her. The lesson here, guys, is to accept the good and bad in yourself. Accept both as part of you. Your bad doesn't define who you are, and your good doesn't define who you are. You know, I mean, we all strive to be a good person, but we're imperfect and we're human. We make mistakes. We have bad in us too. You know, the solution is not to take his Jekyll and Hyde serum and split yourself. You can't do that in real life. The solution is to accept both. And don't worry, the show goes in that direction. That's what we learn in season 6. You have to accept the good and the bad. You have to accept all the sins you made, you know, and learn to be better than them and learn to not make them anymore. We have to accept all the choices we make, take credit for everything we do, and either apologize or if it's a good choice we made, either give ourselves some pat on the back. We learned that in season 6. So as the season 5 finale concludes, we're gonna learn that as Regina and the Evil Queen separate themselves into two separate beings. So look at Lana Priya. So the actor who plays Regina is now playing two characters, and here's how they do it. Like I know this has happened before, and they have the technology and they have CGI. They just film Regina. They just film Lana Priya as Regina, and then they film her as the Evil Queen, and then they put the two films and collide them together. But yes, but here's something I learned about in a commentary once on this episode or somewhere in season 6. So how they do it is that when Regina is playing, when Lana Parrilla is playing her good self, the Regina, they have another actress stand in the Evil Queen's place, like another actor who similarly looks like her but isn't her, and and it's still her. So here's what happens when they film the scenes with her as Regina. She talks, she's it's hard to act when you don't have anyone to talk to. So they use another actor just so that she could talk to them. And then they refilm the scene with Lana playing the evil queen and someone trying to disguise as Regina. And then they crop the two scenes. They crop the two videos. They crop the half that has the person that's not the actor in it, and they crop the other. In the film they clock the other half off. And they put the one half of the clip and the other half of the clip together, and it looks like Regina's talking to her. That's what they said. I hope that makes sense. So imagine you're making a video of yourself, and let's say you're having your brother be someone else. You film the video, and then you two switch roles. Film the video, and then you cut your brother out, playing both roles, and then and then you put the two, and you put from each role into one bit, and you crop them into one. That's how you do it. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. So Regina separated herself from the evil queen. So now all her sins are no longer hers. It's the evil queen's. It's upon the head of the evil queen's. She grabs the evil queen's heart out, tries to crush it, and when she crushes it, the evil queen doesn't die. She just turns into dust and floats away. So you can pretty much assume that the evil queen is completely gone and Regina destroyed the worst parts of herself. For now, but you'll see when this season ends. So now they're all back in Storybrooke. They got the crystal back from Rumple. Everyone's happy. So remember, Violet went with Henry to New York. She never made the trip back to Camelot while everyone was going back. He was gone in New York. So, Henry feels bad for Lucy missing her trip back to Camelot. But plot twist, Lily. I mean, Lily. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what she said. Violet is speaking in a language I don't understand. Being in King Arthur's court means no great shakes. Whatever. Um, uh, so, so Violet is not upset. Henry thought Violet would be upset that she missed her ride home, but Violet is originally from here. She was born in Camelot, but her father's from here. He never felt at home in the real world, so he went to Camelot. Someone from the real world somehow found a way to Fairytale Land and went to Camelot to have a wife and raise their daughter. So since Violet is originally from the real world, she's taken in her father's steps, living happily ever after. Ah, just love at first sight, guys. Guys, I mean, not really. Henry and Violet fell in love in the first half of the season, but anyway, they're just lovebirds. Operation Mixtape is what this is called. Remember Operation Cobra, Operation Firebird, the Underworld? This one was called Operation Mixtape. I don't know how that relates. I guess it's a kind of a road trip, so you're listening to a mixtape while you're getting the crystal from Rumpel. Maybe that's why it's called mixtape. Emma's gonna finally admit what she couldn't. All the other heroes made it back to Storybrooke too. Here's Hook. She loves him. Emma loves Hook, and that's music to the pirates' ears. They're kissing right in front of a gift shop. Notice in the background, right there, right behind their kiss, is a wedding dress. Swan Queen is about to have a wedding engagement in season 6. Didn't want to spoil too much on that. But anyway, that's a little hint there for the future. Get ready for season 6. We're about to have a wedding. That's actually towards the end of the season, so don't be too excited. It's going to be weeks before we get there. It's going to be 2 months because it takes 2 months to get through a season. We watch 3 episodes a week, which means 8 weeks to get through a whole season. So, yeah, it's going to be about 7 weeks. That's how close to the end of the season it is. It's like we're almost before the finale. Almost, not quite. Otherwise, it'd be 8 weeks away. So, as Regina says, let's get rid of this so no one can ever steal this or destroy people that's worse than death ever again. Mr. Hyde! He made it to Storybrooke. So Regina finally destroyed the crystal. So, the life after death thing where you don't exist at all. We don't have to worry about that anymore because the worst weapon in all the show, I'd call this like it's worse than death. So I call it a rated R weapon. This rated R weapon is completely gone. We don't have to worry about it anymore. That means anyone who dies will have a life after death. Thank goodness. Woo! That crystal's gone. No more underworld, no more Greek gods. Bye bye, crystal. But Hyde is kind of relieved because, now that that crystal is not in town, everyone can use magic. No one can steal it from them. And so Hyde doesn't want to be in this town without magic because, as he said, that would be truly barbaric. Yep. So, plot twist, Rumple made a deal with Mr. Hyde. Hyde would offer in exchange information on how to wake up Belle. In return, that Rumple gave Hyde Storybrooke. So Rumple gave Hyde the keys of Storybrooke. He has the authority to take over Storybrooke. Hyde does. And Regina's like, I am not afraid of you, Mr. Hyde. I know how your story ends. How does every story end on Once Upon a Time? The villain loses. It's not a football game where you don't know. It's good always wins. Well, even when it doesn't, evil has won a couple times, but only temporarily. You remember with the Isaac book in season 4? So they don't win permanently. It's good ultimately wins always. Not in the short run, but in the long run. So we know Hyde is gonna lose. But Hyde's like, I wouldn't bet on that. Because despite what you might think, darkness is not easy to get rid of. So, and as you see, Regina thought she killed the evil queen, but she didn't. Crushing her heart, I guess she's immortal because we crushed her heart and the evil queen is still here. The dust reformed into a human body. Like, I guess you can't crush her heart. I guess she stays alive. So how do you defeat her if she can't die? And the dragon was right. There was a war inside Regina. But she may have won the fight. There was a fight inside Regina. Good versus evil. Evil queen versus good queen. She may have won the fight. But this is a war. And it's just begun. The evil queen is back. So we don't just have Mr. Hyde this season. We have Evil Queen, Rumpelstiltskin. We got a bunch of villains going on here. But that wraps up the Underworld arc, and the credits just rolled on. That wraps up our night. Woo! Woo! What a finale. We went from defeating Hades to facing Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, but we did not defeat them. They're going to be in season 6 for sure. We were still Underworld. We were still kind of Underworld token a little bit because the Olympian Crystal was involved. And then, now when Hyde, as Hyde was relieved, he didn't, because normally villains do this themselves, but he must have known Regina was going to do it. As Hyde was relieved, our heroes destroyed the crystal, so now no one can suffer a fate worse than death. Not anymore. So I'm gratefully glad that Hades' weapon is completely gone now. So that completely destroys the Greek mythology arc. But then obviously Hyde comes into town and the evil queen is back. And that's our cliffhanger for season 6. We're going to deal with Hyde, the evil queen, and so many more villains. Again, no more half season arcs. So don't expect 11 episodes on this, okay? But we do have a lot of untold stories because Hyde is bringing a whole ship of untold stories to Storybrooke. So every episode we're going to get a new um standalone episode story of each character in the underworld. So get ready because we got 22 episodes and another season. I'm glad it's not a half a season. I wish we kind of had a whole season with the underworld because we could have done 22 episodes of people moving on, honestly. But that's okay. I'm done with it. I'm done with the underworld. I'm glad we're not doing that. We do get a whole season of living characters though, that whose stories never got a happy ending. So every single character gets a happy ending in every episode we watch. So that will be cool. Or they get a sad ending. Some heroes actually do lose in season 6. So if you've been bored of good always winning, season 6 has some people who either don't get redeemed or because of accidents or something. Anyway, so not everyone gets a happy ending, but every episode offers a new story. So anyway, season 6 will be fun because we got 22 episodes, which is equivalent to about 22 stories, untold stories. Having seen the rest of the show, though, they lose progress on that. They get distracted and end up watching something else, or end up doing some other plot later on, and then they get distracted again. They leave other plots to do better ones. Honestly, I mean, not to do better ones, but to do what they think will drive audiences in a little more. Anyway, after 5 or 6 episodes, they actually stopped doing the untold stories thing. So anyway, it's kind of sad, but I really wish every episode up until the finale had like an untold story in it. But still, fun as it starts. And so anyway, can't wait for next week for season 6. Before I go, there was a little thing that got released with the DVD version. Let's see, Cruella Underworld bonus feature. I need to show you this bonus feature. All right, I'm gonna send you the link. But before we end the live stream tonight, there's one more thing I wanna do. So that you know the video. Where is it? Koala Underworld bonus feature. Where? Hang on. Hang on. There is a scene. Remember Cruella de Vil? Yeah, I do. There's one more thing before we completely leave the underworld for good. Do you know Cruella? There is something that happens to her. If you're wondering, because like obviously Arthur's the one who rules the underworld now. But you know what happened? What becomes of Cruella, who was trying to take over before Arthur did? Anyway, Cruella, underworld bonus feature. I should have prepared myself. I wanted to show this at the end. Before we left the underworld for good, there was one more thing I wanted to show you. Okay, here it is. Okay. I'll send you the link. Sorry, it took a while to find that video. But there's this one video. It's not a deleted scene. It was never meant to be part of any of the episodes. But it kind of shows you what happened to Quilla. If you're curious on what happens to Quilla. I know there's probably other characters you'd rather see move on and stuff. But does Quilla actually go to a worse place? Or she's still in the underworld. Like yeah, there's a video that they made for the DVD specifically on what happens to Quell in the underworld. So before we say goodbye to the underworld once and for all, I just want to watch this video and before we end the live stream. So sorry, we're gonna go overtime because you know how usually the last 15 minutes I usually talk and do Q&A or something. I talked too much in between episodes that our episode just ended right at 9:30, so we should be out of time, but I was really hoping we wouldn't be. Anyway, so I'm going to hurry and send this link. Oh, we got more comments. That's great. My mom says, "Hi Ben, what was your favorite part in the episode that were watched today?" The episodes that were watched today. My favorite part? Um I don't know. I mean, Robin Hood died. That's kind of sad. I guess my favorite part. Um, I don't know. Season finale was good. I have no idea. Oh, I okay. Actually, yes. My favorite part would be in episode 21 when we had. This was also in the season finale, but they kind of left and went back to Camelot at the beginning of the episode, so I wouldn't say so much of the finale. But in episode 20, in the episode before that we watched the finale, when we were killing off Hades, my favorite part was seeing the Camelot characters and the Underworld characters at the same time in one episode, combining both arcs. At the end of the season, the journeys we went on in season 5, all coming back for one last finale. I think that was kind of cool. So yes, I did get one question. I never get comments and I never get questions, for the Q&A part. So that's why a lot of times I just talk my way through it. But I finally got a question. Um, you know, anyway, so that's cool. Hang on, I'm gonna send a link. Okay, watch this with me. 3 minutes. It's only 3 minutes long. Okay, I'm gonna send it to YouTube now. Okay, I'm gonna send this to YouTube. Here we go. Watch this with me. 3 minutes long. We're gonna watch this really quick. Um, um, we'll watch this really quick and then we'll end our live stream. Okay, just one 3-minute video. This came out with the DVD version. I really like it. Normally I don't show bonus material. We are just here to watch the episodes, but this is really cool. This is really cool. And if this was an actual deleted scene, I wouldn't do it. But because we didn't do deleted scenes for season 1, 2, 3, or 4. So I'm not doing that. But this is not a deleted scene. This is something they filmed after season 5 was over and when it was about to come out on DVD. So if you want to know what happened to Quilla DeVille in the underworld, here we go. Okay, I gotta tell you when to push play. It's 4 minutes and 19 seconds. It's on YouTube. Everyone should have the YouTube version. I shouldn't have to explain more. 4 minutes and 19 seconds. Okay, ready? We're gonna push play in 3, 2, 1, now. With the heroes departed, the underworld has been abandoned, silent and still until now. Here's Cruella. She drunked herself out. And she's throwing food at the bartender. Yeah, you kicked her out of a bar because she was drunk, for toast. Wow, Cruella slept her drink all night. Cruella slept herself all night long for drinking too much. She woke up at 11 a.m. the next day, drunk her butt off. Morgrid. So this is Morgrid and this is Cruella. He was a knight at King Arthur's Round Table. Plot twist. Yeah, Arthur's running the underworld. Cruella's finally acknowledging that Arthur took over. Cruella's falling in love with this knight who has betrayed Arthur. He was once on the round table with King Arthur and Camelot, and then I think he betrayed Arthur and died. So Cruella wants to get herself more drunk and drink more champagne, but apparently she already drank it all and it's out. So sorry. So I think Arthur killed this guy. You're the darkness that makes the light visible? Cruella, what? So we got 2 villains here falling in love. Cruella de Vil's a true hero? Oh, wow, if one stays in the underworld, they should definitely be drinking champagne. No. Okay. It's been 50 years since Arthur took over? Wow, you've been in the underworld forever. Wow, it's been 50 years since Arthur took over, so this is way into the future. I mean, I guess you don't age in the underworld. Once you're dead, you stay as young as you were when you died. He left. He's gone. Sorry. He lied to you too. He said the champagne was gone, and Quella was again being upset about all of it. And then he offered a new bottle after after he convinced her. So, so that was interesting, right? Okay. Um. So what happened there? The video's over. What happened there? Is that first we thought Coelho was going to move on, right? So so the night at King Arthur's court, he was a villain. He betrayed Arthur and he got killed for it. But now Arthur rules the underworld, so now he's forced under his rule again. Except Arthur's being a good guy. And so anyway, and this knight at the from the round table is not. He's still evil. So anyway, he teams up with Coel and he's like, wait, what if we move on? And Quilla's like, no, I don't want to move on to a worse place. And he's like, not a worse place. What if we move on to a better place? What if we seek redemption and try to be a better person? Quilla was really against it at first, but then she started agreeing and called herself the ultimate hero. And then he's like, you know what? Actually, you should stay here. I don't see you ever becoming evil. You are the light. You are the darkness that shines through the light, or something like that. He's like, ooh, I am. Thank you, smoochy, smoochy, right? And so anyway, at the end of the scene, he walks off, and Quella is just they're celebrating 50 years since Arthur took over the underworld. My goodness, that is so far into the future. I'm surprised they did that. So anyway, if you want to know what happened to the Quella, if you want to know what happened to Quella, she went from her. She stopped her evil ways. She doesn't want to move on. She's still kind of evil, but she stopped. She stopped menacing over the fact that Arthur took over the underworld. So she's just minding her own business, and just she's falling in love with this knight. And so for my theory on this video, I think she's gonna just end up sticking with the knight, fall in love, move in with him, marry him, whatever, in the underworld, a life after death, marry this guy, and just do evil together. Maybe I don't see them going evil as they were in the beginning. I don't see them being good either, because they just abandoned. They were about to seek redemption, but I think they just at the end of that scene they changed their minds and abandoned the whole idea. So they're not going to seek redemption, obviously, but I also think they're not going to do too much evil. They're just going to be pretty neutral. I will say pretty neutral. So anyway, if you want to know what happened to Koala, what became of her, what the fate was for her, it was untold till now. Now you have your answer. Okay, that wraps up the underworld. Now we're done. I'm gonna sign off. This is it. The end of our live stream. Sorry, I went 12 minutes overtime. I'm gonna end Facebook first. Next week, we're starting season 6. And remember how the underworld didn't have a special episode? A special like recap episode. So we're gonna get a special now for season 6. So it's cool because we haven't had one since the season 5 started. So it's been 8 weeks. So anyway, we got a special for us, and then we'll start the season at the actual season 6. So until next week, God be with you till we meet again. And again, I'm only gonna say goodbye once. So YouTube, people watching on YouTube, there will be an extra 10 seconds of silence as I end Facebook first, but you feel free to click off. Bye, y'all.